Adam Cole just turns on the Undisputed Era, baby. We are live, man. Now that's how you end an NXT TakeOver. I'm just saying. Finn Balor and Pete Dunne in the main event, NXT title. Women's and men's Dusty Classic final. My boy Johnny Gargano against Kushida with the NXT North American title on the line. And Toni Storm breaks a table without actually going through it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking everything NXT TakeOver tonight, plus your NXT news and rumors. Where does Adam Cole go from here? And has Triple H made a predictable NXT title situation just a little bit more unpredictable? This is the only post show you need, man. Right here on the NXT TakeOver post show on Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for stopping by the channel tonight. We are live right here on Off the Script. It is Valentine's Day, or what NXT has coined Vengeance Day, February 14th, 2021. I am your host, JD from New York. Man, I gotta be honest with you. You know, a lot of people have asked for me to bring back the NXT reviews and to cover NXT. I want you guys to understand something, okay? I still watch NXT, but I don't watch NXT as I used to. I feel like NXT in the last, I would say, before the pandemic hit, when AEW and NXT were really going head-to-head in that debut month of October, I feel like NXT was still NXT. I feel like AEW really came onto the scene and a lot of people in the community jumped to AEW. And it is the more popular of the two shows on Wednesday night. They may be getting similar ratings on Wednesday night, but it definitely is the more popular of the two shows on Wednesday night. I myself have jumped from doing NXT reviews to AEW reviews. And rightfully so. I mean, it's just overly more positive for the channel and the growth of the channel, and the interest in the community is more towards AEW's side. There's just no positive to covering NXT anymore. I was even contemplating not even coming on here to do a takeover. But I see everybody in the community doing one, and I'm like, you know what? I'm home. I don't want to miss out on covering takeover. I don't know what it is, and I mention it all the time. NXT certainly does not feel the same as it did. I was only one of a handful of people covering NXT in the community when it was in its prime, the golden era. And you guys know it. I was here every single Wednesday. I was here every single Wednesday night for that 1 hour covering the show. And I loved covering the show. I would not dare miss an NXT show. I know people personally that have done the same thing since NXT has gone downhill. The less they watch of NXT and the more AEW they watch. I don't want to say NXT is turning a page. I don't want to say NXT is moving past all this negativity and whatnot. Until we get into normal territory where fans are allowed back in the building and these shows can take place inside actual venues like TakeOver should be, I don't think NXT is going to get back to where it needs to be. But I will say this, man, as far as what WWE has done on this show tonight, I honestly think NXT is turning a page creatively. And I got to admit, the closing angle with Adam Cole, being that I'm such a big Adam Cole mark, the closing angle with Adam Cole is enough to get me interested in what NXT has to tell as far as story progression. All I needed was one thing to get me back into actually caring about something, and that's the problem with NXT. There isn't anything to care about. There's not. The stories are just not there. They haven't told a great story. I don't think they've told a story at all that I genuinely cared about since Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa had their unbelievable back and forth to the NXT title. Nothing since then. Adam Cole has been one of the most consistent guys in all of pro wrestling, and even him, he's kind of fallen into this, I don't really find this interesting. I love the guy, but I don't find him interesting. Or I don't find what they're doing with him interesting. It's not him per se, but I don't find anything that they're doing with him interesting. This is it. This is it. Now, you could take this as a good thing because Adam Cole's finally in something that we can sink our teeth into. Or you could take it as a bad thing. The Undisputed Era is seemingly coming to an end, at least with Adam Cole as its leader. So what does this mean? See a lot of people on social media, oh, it's too soon. Oh, it's too soon for the Undisputed Era to break up. Oh, it's too soon for this type of thing to happen. I wanted to see them all go to the main roster. I wanted to see them go to Raw. I wanted to go see them feud with the Hurt Business. I want to see them show up on Raw to feud with the New Day. I want to see them show up on SmackDown to feud with the Bloodline and Roman Reigns and the Usos and Paul Heyman. Do you really? I gotta ask you, do you really want to see that? Because right now, I'm looking at my imaginary watch and I'm counting down for the burial of Adam Cole on the main roster. That's all I see when I look at this. Do you really want that? You should choose your words wisely, geek. I know, I don't want that. The fuck do you want him on the main roster for? Bruce Pritchard right now is constructing a casket for Adam Cole. What are you fucking kidding me? Double wide, double deep for Adam Cole. Is it too soon? I'm not going to say yes or no. I'm not. All I will say is this. WWE has given you an unpredictable situation now because all we were thinking of is, Balor's going to get through Pete Dunne. Balor's going to retain the NXT title. And Balor's going to go on to, whether it's at WrestleMania, which I have news about, whether it's at WrestleMania, on the actual WrestleMania card, or after WrestleMania when they hold their own TakeOver show, just drop the title to Karrion Kross, and we'll move on from this. But now WWE has put it in the atmosphere, they put it in the air, that we could be seeing Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Finn Balor, and Karrion Kross all challenge for the NXT title. Or we could just get Balor and Kross, or Cole and O'Reilly in 2 separate singles matches. I don't know where this goes. But WWE certainly, like I said in the beginning, has gotten me to a point where I wasn't really invested in anything that NXT was doing. And all it took was for this to happen with the Undisputed Era tonight. Is it too soon? I want to say yes, because in numbers, they are more powerful. But with Adam Cole going to the main roster, you got to understand this, folks. And I don't want to be, to you. I don't want anybody listening to me saying, oh, JD's negative, or I don't want anybody to say I'm disrespecting or downgrading Kyle O'Reilly or Roderick Strong or Bobby Fish. I'm not doing that. They've been my favorite group in WWE since the very, very, very early days of the Wyatts and the Shield. You got to understand that Adam Cole is the money winner in the Undisputed Era. Even him, I find very iffy as far as finding success on the main roster. We can all look at Adam Cole and say he's got the makings of the next Shawn Michaels. In my honest opinion, Adam Cole is a WrestleMania main event guy for the next decade. Adam Cole is one of the greatest pro wrestlers on the face of this fucking planet. If I was to build an entire organization around one guy, a lot of guys, like Kenny Omega and AJ Styles and guys like that, they'll be at the top of everybody's list. I'm taking fucking Adam Cole. If I was to build an entire organization and my number one draft pick was between Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, Adam Cole, Kazuchika Okada, or whoever you want to put in that list, I'm choosing Adam Cole 10 times out of 10, night and day, twice on Sunday. That's just what I'm doing. He is he may be the best wrestler in all of WWE right now. Out of everybody in the Undisputed Era, he is the one guy that could potentially be the biggest star. But I got to ask you guys, do you find that to be the same with Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong? I mean, just look at what awaits them on the main roster. WWE has fucked up Keith Lee in less than 6 months. Matt Riddle's a comedy geek on Monday Night Raw. They really haven't done much with any of the NXT guys as of late on the main roster. Meanwhile, Triple H is pretty much handing talent to Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on a silver platter, getting them ready for the future. But Vince and Bruce have this thing where they like to break things down and rebuild it in their own image because it didn't come from their minds or it didn't come from the main roster. It's all Triple H. And if Triple H is constantly churning out talent that succeeds on the main roster, how do you think that makes Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard look at their job? A lot of people wonder why these guys fail. And this is why I'm so fucking terrified of Adam Cole going to the main roster. You think Adam Cole's going to go to the main roster after this guy has been an absolute Triple H guy for the last 4 years? You think Adam Cole's just going to walk on into SmackDown or walk on into Monday Night Raw and start winning world titles like we all know he should? Start main eventing WrestleMania like we know he should within his first year on the main roster? I guarantee you they break Adam Cole down to a point where he looks unrecognizable to us after 1 year. And that is the reason why I'm so critical of everything that they do. This is why I'm so fearful of everything that they do, from NXT to the main roster. Adam Cole needs nothing to change. He needs no seasoning. He needs no character change. He needs no music change. He needs nothing to change. You take a guy like that and you put him on Raw and you put him in front of a live audience and he will be over. But I'm not so sure of that. I'm not so sure of that. And the reason why we've seen what we've seen tonight, yes, it's a great storyline and the prospects of it are great. The aspects of it could lead to really great television storyline-wise. But all I see is Adam Cole moving up and Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Finn Balor staying right where they are. I don't even know if Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, I don't know where Bobby Fish is. He might be hurt again, is what I'm seeing in the chat. Maybe they want to stay down in NXT. I don't know. Do you blame them? They got no future there. But what NXT did tonight, Three things. Unpredictable world title situation after everybody assumed it was going to be Balor and Cross. Adam Cole turns his back on the Undisputed Era in what a lot of people are saying is a great thing for Cole. 50-50, great thing for Cole, and maybe a little bit too soon. And then Adam Cole potentially, this is the year. There's literally nothing for this guy to do in NXT anymore. You know when a guy is due. Adam Cole's been due for the last 2 years. This is the last year he is in NXT. This storyline may be his last as he turns over power of the Undisputed Era, and it lives on in NXT through Kyle O'Reilly or Finn Balor or whoever is the leader. I don't even know if Cross is going to be in NXT after this year. They might not even give him the fucking title. They may give the title to O'Reilly. It's exactly what I would do. Why the fuck is Cross even there? Cross doesn't need to be there. Cross should have already been on the main roster. Vince probably took one look at this guy. Hey, can I have the blonde? Hey, yeah, and that guy too. So we're going to talk about all that. And we got a lot to go over tonight here on the show, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. This is Off the Script, TakeOver Vengeance Day on your Valentine's Day. So we'll get into it and get into everything that I got as far as NXT. News coming out of NXT. Eli Drake and Taya Valkyrie have signed with the promotion. I will talk about that and give my thoughts on where they could be potentially going as far as their inclusion on NXT. And then we'll break down these matches as always. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. If you guys want to go and check out everything else on the channel, we got Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, Friday Night SmackDown. All the live streams are archived. Go and check them out on the channel right now. Off the Script, episode 364 was live yesterday. Go and check that out. We talked about WWE freezing pay, raises, bonuses, promotions in a pandemic year, which WWE earned the most revenue ever for the company since its birth. So go and check all that out and what Bruce Pritchard did in the entire situation as far as him handling it with the creative team and how it went over with all other departments in WWE. Big story coming out of the E. So go check that out. Now live on the channel, episode 364 of Off the Script. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. If you guys want to support through Patreon, it's always there for you guys. Never an obligation, always there. We got some great perks upon signing up, including some beer mugs, some cookies, instant access to the Discord. Awesome stuff there, man. So make sure you guys go and check out Patreon. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. Bonfire for your t-shirts. The exclusive home of Off the Script. Mouthmasker.com/OTS for your masks. And then, as always, tonight's sponsor, you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming, man. Tonight's sponsor for the podcast is BlueChew.com. If you ever needed a fucking Blue Chew, man, tonight is the night for BlueChew.com. Use code JD at checkout, and you guys are going to get your free sample of Blue Chew. So go and do that for me, because actually, you might not even need Blue Chew after tonight's show. It was a very good show. But we got Blue Chew, as them sponsoring the show has always been a great thing. BlueChew.com. So go and check them out, as always. And I want to thank them for supporting Off the Script. Let's get into the top, man. We want to open up with some news. I got some news coming out of NXT, and it was the first of two signings tonight. We got Taya Valkyrie signing with NXT, and Eli Drake signing with NXT. Taya Valkyrie is signed with NXT, and she's coming over from Impact Wrestling. I'm not sure if you guys even know anything about Taya Valkyrie, but she is the wife of Johnny Mundo, Johnny Nitro, John Morrison. The guy who should be much higher on the WWE card, but is nothing more than a comedy geek on Monday Night Raw with The Miz. WWE signed Taya Valkyrie, as it reads in PW Insider, on her way to NXT, and it's expected she will be announced as part of the next round of signings into the Performance Center. Valkyrie was backstage at the recent NXT tapings. Now, it was probably a done deal right away after she walked away from Impact Wrestling, but WWE had this NXT show tonight, and then just to build hype around the show, they probably waited to announce her signing here for TakeOver Vengeance Day. Valkyrie, like I said, is the wife of WWE star John Morrison, has been wrestling since 2010 after training at Lance Storm's Wrestling Academy. She was briefly under a WWE developmental deal in 2010 before being released, and she wrestled for several years in AAA in Mexico, and her first national exposure in the United States came when she wrestled for Lucha Underground, which she did incredibly well there, working with Johnny Mundo, John Morrison. Valkyrie moved to Impact and became a top star there as the longest reigning Knockouts champion in company history. She finished up with the company last month when it was revealed that she was the person who shot John E. Bravo on Impact Television. Valkyrie is among several women expected to be announced in the next round of signings, as if WWE needs any more females on that NXT roster. Now, I know a lot of people are probably wondering why she signed with WWE over AEW. I know a couple of people personally that thought the same thing. I am genuinely shocked. I would say I'm shocked but not shocked. Let me rephrase that. Shocked but not shocked that she went to WWE. I was expecting her to go to AEW. I really did. And I don't know where her headspace is at, but I would assume that Taya signed with the WWE so she could be closer to her husband and also make bank, is what I'm assuming. Now, I know a lot of people in the community are probably asking, well, why didn't she go to AEW? She could have easily made just as much, if not more money, under Tony Khan, wrestling for All Elite Wrestling, and then also had made an impact, or would have made an impact, in the women's division in AEW instead of WWE. I don't know where her headspace is at, but I do think two things in particular swayed Taya Valkyrie from going to AEW and instead went to WWE. A, John Morrison. They're married. They want to be closer together, right? One works in Orlando. They may live in Orlando. I have no idea. And the other is emanating from Jacksonville. I mean, it's a no-brainer that she wants to be closer to her husband. Number two, and this is the same thing that I say a lot about a lot of female prospects who may want to go to AEW but choose not to. Look at the roster in NXT as far as that women's roster. It is easily the best it has ever looked in the history of WWE. Even better when Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, and Bayley were there. This is the greatest assembly of female talent that the WWE has ever seen. Now, yes, Johnny Morrison is an easy answer, but if Taya Valkyrie has come this far from 2010, going to Impact, being the longest reigning Impact Wrestling champion, she probably got bored over in Impact Wrestling because she accumulated so much and did so much, there was nothing left for her to do. If she went to AEW, yes, it would have been fresh. It would have been new. She would have gave everybody that sense of, oh my God, they're building around new, vibrant talent that knows what to do, talent that's TV ready. But how long will Taya Valkyrie be, hey, I can't wait to do this, I can't wait to do that, I can't wait to wrestle this one, I can't wait to wrestle that one. How many superstars on that roster is Taya Valkyrie, getting antsy to wrestle? There's not many. Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida. After that, who is there? There isn't really anybody. Maybe she doesn't want to come in and be placed at the top already. She comes in, she's already the number one female there. Why does she want that? Maybe it's too much for her to handle. So she went to WWE instead because it's something that she probably looks at and says, hey, you know what? Look at how many women are being collected in WWE. I could wrestle anybody and everybody and never get bored. And she's not coming in as the biggest fish in the pond. She's coming in as a medium fish in a pond that is just ready to explode with so many different opportunities ready for her, waiting for her. So I don't know where her headspace is at, but it's easy to say, yeah, let's go to AEW, win the Women's Championship, and be the number one, really make a difference. Maybe she didn't want to go to AEW because it would have been too easy. Maybe she wanted to go to WWE for the challenge. That's exactly what I would have done. That's exactly the way I would have been thinking. But I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, this is stupid. She should have went to AEW. You know, at the end of the day, we can say what we want as fans, but at the end of the day, they're the ones supporting each other. They know where they are at this stage of their life. They want to make money. They accumulated all these years breaking their bodies for us. They want to make as much money as they can now, because it won't always be there. I don't care either way. NXT's women's division is the greatest assembly of women I've ever seen. So for her to go there, I don't really see it as a bad thing. I see it as something that she probably looks at as a challenge. And it just adds another top-level female to a sea of already top-level females. All I know is AEW has to have plan B, C, D, and E ready, because I think a lot of women are going to choose NXT and WWE over AEW. Where they go from NXT, I mean, I could set aside a whole another hour talking about how most of these women will fail on the main roster thanks to you-know-who. But I think this is a great signing for WWE and a great signing for her. She's going to be very excited to be there, and it's not difficult to see why. Eli Drake. Eli Drake signed with NXT. He's under a new name. His new name is LA Knight. He's a former Impact World Champion. He signed with WWE, made his appearance shortly before they went off the air with the TakeOver Vengeance Day pre-show. Drake recently worked with the NWA. At this point, I don't even know who's remaining with the NWA. It might just be Nick Aldis, and that's it at this point. But he was with the NWA. He's been a free agent for several months. He recently had an interview with Chris Van Vliet. And Drake indicated that a return to pro wrestling might not be in the cards since he was looking at doing outside projects, but plans have changed. And based on what we've seen tonight, it looks like he will be a part of the NXT brand. LA Knight is his name. I don't know where they came up with that name. A lot of people were wondering why they changed his name from Eli Drake. What's wrong with Eli Drake? WWE likes to change people's names so that they may trademark it and do what they need to do with that as their own intellectual property. But, you know, Eli Drake never impressed me. Some of you might find that difficult to believe. Some of you might be thinking, well, JD, he looks like your type of guy. You always like a good promo guy. I don't care about Eli Drake. I never cared about Eli Drake. Does he bring veteran presence to NXT? Yeah. But do they need veteran presence down there? I look at Eli Drake as somebody that should be coaching in the fucking Performance Center, not performing in the ring. What is Eli Drake going to bring NXT? He's not really all that good in the ring, if you ask me. I'm not saying he's not good, but he's just dull as fucking dishwater to me. Cuts a promo. He's got charisma. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the guy doesn't have charisma, but most of his promos are modeled after Dwayne Johnson and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So how am I going to look at him and say, hey, man, he's a good promo? Anybody could take a fucking Rock promo and make it their own. That doesn't mean you're original or good while you do it. He's good at what he does. He's got a great voice. But as far as what he brings to the NXT table, I just don't see it. I really don't see it. Are they hoarding talent? Why are they hoarding talent? I don't understand why we're still in this NXT. Let's sign everybody under the fucking sun. They just signed Christian Casanova as well. He's joining NXT with the next group going into the Performance Center. So why are they signing all these free agents? Why are they bringing in all these independent guys? I thought we were well past that. But NXT still seems to be having AEW in the back of their mind. They're not going to beat AEW. Taya Valkyrie is not a factor. If none of the other women on the roster are a factor, then Taya Valkyrie is not going to be a factor. Eli Drake is an absolute non-factor in this situation. Nobody's going to be watching NXT for Eli Drake. Does he bring value to NXT? Minimal. But what I'm trying to make, or the point I'm trying to make is, you're bringing in Eli Drake for what? To solidify veteran presence on the fucking show in hopes that you gain some traction against AEW on Wednesday night in the ratings. That's all I see it as. But we all know NXT and where they stand in the ratings. They're not beating AEW. So why are you bringing in Eli Drake to give him TV time over everybody else on the fucking show? People in the back that haven't had TV time. People in the fucking PC that probably have been there for 3 or 4 years waiting for TV time. When are they going to get their opportunity to move through the fucking ranks? What difference does it make if you got a Rick Bugenhagen or an Eli Drake on the fucking show? I'd rather get Rick Boogs on the fucking show and get him exposure because nobody's going to be watching anyway. I'd rather watch him than a fucking Eli Drake. Doesn't make any sense to me. So he signs with the company. We'll see what he does. I don't know where he fits in. He might just be there as far as a veteran presence go. But I'll tell you this, man. Everybody was excited for EC3 when he came into NXT. I mean, I was one of those people. I seen the megastar potential in EC3. A lot of us said, I don't know how Vince McMahon looks at this guy and doesn't fucking drool all over himself. But I look at this as a potential EC3 all over again. EC3 came in and what happened? He was there. He didn't really do much in NXT. Before you know it, he got called up to the main roster. And then what happened? Absolutely fucking buried into oblivion. The guy was a fucking window model. Spraying water on himself and fucking posing in the back in front of a goddamn mirror, pretending to be the narcissist. Now we got Eli Drake. You don't look at this as an EC3 2.0 situation? I could not give a single shit about Eli Drake. Get a youngster on the fucking show and put him on television. There's absolutely no difference as far as where it stands with the ratings. All this does is take a spot away from somebody else that deserves it inside that performance center. We're going to talk about TakeOver, man. I want to talk about this one because the first match on the show was the finals of the Women's Dusty Classic, which was awesome. Absolutely awesome. But there was a situation that happened on Twitter. With Casey Catanzaro. And she deleted her Twitter account or deactivated her Twitter account because of this situation. And I don't know if you guys were scrolling about or know what happened here, but she responded to criticism over people calling her out. Being out in Orlando with friends without having a mask on. So she had to go out there and kind of respond to all the backlash that she was getting. Fucking ridiculous, man. Everybody wants to, play boss or wield their power, their imaginary power over everybody else in regards to these situations. They want to fucking virtue signal for the sake of virtue signaling. It is absolutely sickening to my stomach to see shit like this happen on social media. Like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? You're telling somebody else to wear a goddamn fucking mask. Why don't you worry about yourself and wear your fucking mask and stop telling people what the fuck to do? Casey Catanzaro took to Twitter this week to issue a video response after receiving heat from fans over not wearing a face covering. Catanzaro was criticized on social media for the past week after she and friends were seen on video sitting at a restaurant over the weekend and not wearing COVID-19 masks, face coverings. The criticism came after Catanzaro and others, including boyfriend Ricochet, were knocked on social media over her recent birthday celebration and New Year's Eve party. Oh, I'm sorry. Nobody can celebrate their fucking birthdays now? Give me a break. In this video that was seen on social media, Catanzaro addressed the concern and explained why she was not wearing a mask in the video and talked about how she does wear the masks when she's supposed to. She also noted that she receives COVID-19 tests at least once a week. Now, she says this, and I quote, "What's up, Twitter? I just wanted to get on here and be able to talk to everyone for a minute. I know people are concerned that I was at a restaurant over the weekend. I want everybody to know that I hear you and I appreciate the concern. Here, where I live in Florida, restaurants are open to a certain capacity. We wear a mask when we go in. We leave. We wear a mask. Really, anytime that we aren't sitting down at our table, we have to have a mask on. But when we are sitting down to eat or drink, we are allowed to take our masks off. And I know that's part of the problem, and that's the part people saw and they were upset with." I would have ended it there. I don't know what more she needs to explain to these fucking virtual signaling fucking geeks on social media. I'm sorry for anybody that is upset. I understand your concern. All I wanted to do, and I want you to know, is that I care about the safety of others around me and myself, and I follow all the protocol. Luckily for me, with work, we get tested at least once a week, if not twice a week sometimes, and I carry my hand sanitizer with me everywhere I go, and everywhere that we have to, I wear my mask. I'm sorry if that this moment made people think otherwise, but I just want you all to know that I hear you, I appreciate the concern, I'm looking out for the safety of others around me, as well as trying to take care of myself the best that I can, and I wish the best for everybody else. And she ended the video by blowing a kiss to all of her viewers. The funny thing is, she was on NXT the next week. She was on NXT the next week to conclude the semifinals of the Dusty Classic. So, if WWE found this to be a problem, you fucking virtual signaling geeks, then they would have taken her off of television. If WWE wasn't doing the right thing, and if Casey wasn't doing the right thing, then she wouldn't have showed up to work. Yes, I know, Florida's got this stigma of being fucking just unruly with COVID-19 easing the restrictions. But in the video, which lasted 10 seconds on her fucking IG story, she was sitting down at a table. We don't know what they were doing. To me, it looked like they were getting ready to leave. Were you there with her eating dinner? Were you there hanging out with her and her friends? I know the restrictions where I go. You walk in, you wear a mask. You wear your mask till you get seated. You sit down at the fucking table and you take your mask off. You get up to go to the bathroom, you put your mask on. You get up to walk out of the establishment after you paid your bill. You wear your mask. What is so difficult for people to figure out here? Yet they got on this poor woman for what they think she did, and she probably followed all the goddamn protocols. Are you upset that she went out and enjoyed herself the way that she's allowed to? Who's to say that she's not allowed to go out if she's following the COVID protocol? Give me a fucking break. I can't believe how many fucking people jumped down this person's throat for what? Unreal. According to me and what I watched, she was following all the fucking restrictions. Shut your fucking mouth and worry about yourself. That's what people need to do. Get the fuck off social media and stop telling people what the fuck to do. You want to go out? Go out. Follow the fucking rules if you do. If you don't want to go out, stay the fuck home. Moving on. Let's talk about this goddamn show. I don't believe I'm talking about this fucking shit. How stupid are people? Unreal. NXT TakeOver opened up. Dusty Final. We got the women's Dusty Final happening. This was an awesome match, by the way. We got Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez going up against Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. Now, a lot of people, I tweeted my excitement about how great this match was at the end of the match. There were a couple of geeks in the thread on my Twitter. What did you watch, JD? I don't know what you watched. I thought this match was sloppy. There was no story. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Blow me. That's what I say. What are you watching, JD? I know what the fuck I'm watching. I'm watching 4 women who busted their ass 20 plus minutes to give you a damn good Dusty final to really make Dusty himself smile down upon them. That's what I watched. I don't know what the fuck you watched. I know Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez are the future. I know Raquel Gonzalez herself is the future. I don't know what you're watching. This was an awesome match. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai win the Dusty Cup. Dakota Kai was actually being beat down through most of the first quarter of this match. So we got her being beat down by the babyfaces. Moon came into the match, sent Gonzalez to the floor with forearm, and she went right back on Dakota Kai's left leg, which was the story of this match before Kai tagged out. Kai finally escaped to Gonzalez, ran wild with some clotheslines on Moon before beating her down in the corner. Gonzalez hit a series of fallaway slams off the hot tag on Moon. Moon kicked out quickly. Kai tagged in with a diving clothesline. Blackheart broke up the pin attempt. Blackheart then went for a diving Hurricane Rana on Gonzalez, who blocked it, and this was one of my favorite spots of the match. She blocked it, took Shotzi, and powerbombed her into the plexiglass barricade. And I love the sound of that plexiglass. It sounded like it exploded. But Shotzi's a crazy son of a bitch anyway, man. She'll throw herself into anything. Never mind this. And she did tonight. She really did. So Moon tried to run wild, but was overwhelmed by the numbers advantage. Kai went for a big boot in the corner, and that didn't do the job. She got close to it, though. Went for a 2 count. Gonzalez tagged in, tried to clothesline Moon, but ended up hitting her partner instead. Moon sent both of them down with a combination DDT and leg lariat, which looked really good. Kai distracted the official as Moon hit the Eclipse on Gonzalez. Man, let me tell you something, man. Ember Moon, I don't know what I did to Ember Moon on social media, but she's another one that's got me blocked. I've always loved Ember Moon. I don't know what happened or what I said or what I did, but Jesus Christ, man. Ember Moon, she went up to hit the Eclipse. She does this. She gave it a little extra oomph in the air, man. My God, was this fun. It wasn't the best Eclipse I've seen. But my God, this was a beautiful Eclipse on Raquel Gonzalez here. Great visual, getting the near fall. Gonzalez tried to attack, but Blackheart re-entered the ring, did a top rope drop kick for 2. Blackheart went crazy on Kai. Face buster. Gonzalez tagged in after that. Blackheart went for a sliced bread. It looked like a sliced bread. I don't know what the fuck it resembled. I don't know what it was, but she did not get all of the sliced bread. But Gonzalez stopped her. Blackheart then readjusted with a top rope sliced bread. Anyway, Kai broke up the pinfall that soon followed. Moon was propped on the ropes, and she was standing on the ropes. She held the ropes open for Blackheart. Blackheart ran right through the ropes as Ember Moon was holding the ropes. Beautiful tope suicida. Neckbreaker, diving lung blower, springboard code red from Moon. Got a 2 count. Blackheart put Kai in the electric chair on the floor, and Moon landed a doomsday crossbody to take out Kai. Man, these women were throwing themselves all over the place. Fucking killing their bodies, man. Awesome stuff. Gonzalez was sent into the ring steps, locked into a deathlock, crossface by Moon. But Kai broke up the submission. Kai and Blackheart tagged in. Kai hit the chiropractor, which I always love to see. She and Gonzalez hit the GTK, but Moon broke that up. Moon was sent crashing onto the ramp and catapulted off the ramp into the barricade by Gonzalez. This is something I forgot to mention in the beginning of the actual breakdown of the show. I was looking at this match, and I had no recollection. The match was so good, I must have forgotten, because I seen there was some differences aesthetically to the Capitol Wrestling Center. There was this big black ramp that they added to the runway, to the rampway. Now, I love the ramp that they added because it gives it a bigger feel. And I think it kind of differentiates itself from the normal NXT shows that we see on weekly television to these TakeOver shows because they're all emanating out of the same place. But there was this big black ramp that they added to this show tonight, which looked great. It looked very aesthetically pleasing. Raquel Gonzalez tossed Ember Moon over the top. And I swear to God, the way she tossed her, man, if she landed on the fucking floor, she would have been dead. But she landed on this ramp, and I'm like, holy shit, I thought she threw her over the fucking top rope to the floor. She landed on this ramp. So there was this big black ramp there. They battled on the ramp. Moon was sent crashing into the ramp and catapulted off the ramp into the barricade by Gonzalez. She shoulder tackled her off the ramp. She flew into the barricade. Blackheart surprised Gonzalez on her way back to the ring with a springboard kick. She went for a top rope move, but Gonzalez popped up and sent her to the mat. Massive choke slam. And Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai go for the pin, and they win the Women's Dusty Classic final. They celebrated by the trophy. They got confetti coming down. Awesome, awesome, awesome. These were the two that I picked to win the Dusty Classic final from the very beginning. It made absolutely no sense for anybody else to win it. And the reason why I said that these two were going to win it, because every time Dakota Kai got ahead, WWE wheeled her back in every single time, whether it was going up against the Rhea Ripley or going up against the Io Shirai or getting close to the NXT Women's title. They always reeled her back in. She would win, get momentum, get close to the title, and then they snag her back. And Raquel Gonzalez, I mean, she beat Rhea Ripley in a last woman standing match in Rhea's last appearance on NXT, so you know how high they are on Raquel Gonzalez. I mean, it was just a perfect marriage of things happening for these two that really made it make the most sense for them to win it. Plus, WWE is incredibly high on Raquel Gonzalez. I was not a big fan of her. I thought, here's another big woman with really no skill set coming into the WWE. Not really all that interested in what she does. But man, oh man, I've turned a complete 180 on Raquel Gonzalez. She might not have the look that the main roster is looking for, but my God, man, if you want somebody to embody the essence of what Chyna brought to WWE, and you really want that dominant figure as far as a female presence on the roster, it's not a Nia Jax. Nia Jax is not it. She was never it. She was never going to be it. Nia Jax is unathletic. She's garbage. She's terrible. She's still as fucking terrible as she was when she first walked in. You see the progress on Raquel Gonzalez. That's the type of female that you want on the main roster to embody everything that a powerful female needs to embody. She's going to be a major star in the company if WWE, Vince, and Bruce just leave her the fuck alone. Seriously. She's got everything. She's still slightly green. But my God, man, what she's done in this, I would say, last 6 to 9 months, being paired with Dakota Kai has been phenomenal. And she's come a long way. I see it. And one of the best things that I love about watching pro wrestling is seeing somebody grow, mature, and get better. I would tell you before anybody else if I knew they weren't getting better. She's getting better. I even said Alexa Bliss is getting better. I mean, I don't bullshit to you guys. I've said Alexa Bliss has done the best work in her entire career as this character working in the Funhouse. I mean, I don't lie to you guys. I've said the same thing about Carmella. I was never a big fan of fucking Carmella. I thought Carmella was terrible. Same thing with Liv Morgan. I thought Liv Morgan was trash. They've both gotten better. Carmella was able to stand in there for 3 matches against Sasha Banks and not look bad. Liv Morgan, you see the progress she makes on Monday night or wherever she is, Friday night. I don't even know what fucking brand she's on. Who gives a shit? But you see the progress that she's making. Raquel Gonzalez has it. They were the right winners. Awesome match to start the show. Johnny Gargano in the way. The Gargano way, man. It's the only way I want. They made their entrance. They were getting ready to walk Johnny through the curtain. And out of nowhere, man, I look down and I'm on Twitter and I see Austin Theory being kidnapped. I look up and I'm assuming it's Dexter Lumis because they've been feuding Theory and Gargano offset from Kushida with Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis looked like he chloroformed Austin Theory, suffocated him, and kidnapped him. Don't know where he is. He may be dead somewhere. I have no idea. We'll probably find out on Wednesday night. But Gargano sent Candice and Indie Wrestling to find Theory, meaning he was without backup for the match. It's fine by me. A heel going out there, a great heel going out there without his backup. That could only mean good things, folks. And it was indeed that. So Johnny went out there. He wrestled Kushida. for the NXT North American title, Johnny coming in as the champion. This match was fucking incredible. Incredible, man. I can only imagine if there were 10,000 Mark fans in attendance for a takeover like this. And this was the match that was presented in front of those 10,000 fans. Unbelievable. This was somehow better than this. I mean, it was better than the opener. I'm not going to say this was somehow. I mean, it's Johnny fucking Gargano. It's Johnny TakeOver and Kushida. This was definitely better than the opener. But 2 matches to open this show like these two, awesome stuff, man. Johnny Gargano has been so awesome as a heel. And he's one of those guys, and I've said this about Bayley. Johnny Gargano has played this heel role, and I didn't think he was going to do it as good as he is doing it now because he was such a great babyface. You know, I looked at Johnny Gargano as the quintessential fucking mirroring of Daniel Bryan back in 2014. We all lobbied, we all wanted, we all felt, we were all fucking invested in Johnny Gargano winning that NXT title in New York against Adam Cole. You know how awesome that match was, one of the greatest matches that WWE has ever fucking produced. But after he turned heel, I'm like, I'm not going to like this. They changed his theme music twice. They didn't know where they wanted to go with him. He just seemed like he was in the middle of nothing. And then he just gets into the groove. And week after week after week, you start seeing his personality come out. You start seeing that prick-like charisma come out. That heel sense of humor come out. You see him just living the gimmick and embodying the gimmick. I love it. And I said the same thing about Bayley, like I said before. I didn't think Bayley was going to be a good heel. You know, blowing up the Bayley buddies, she stabbed them. She cut her hair. They changed her music. I always looked at Bayley, even in the beginning stages of that heel turn, as, oh man, I want the fucking pigtails back. I want the hugs. I want the Bayley buddies. Now I look at Bayley and it's like, I never want to see that version of Bayley ever again. We see the ding dong, hello, and the haircut, the fucking just oozing charisma from Bayley, herself being a prick to everybody, better than everybody. She knows she's better than everybody. The attire she wears, the attitude, the music, it's one complete package. That's what Johnny Gargano is. That's what Johnny Gargano is becoming. And I look at Bayley, and I look at Bayley now, and I'm like, man. Same thing with Johnny Gargano. Same way I look at Johnny Gargano. The evolution of their characters goes to show you how great they really are. It is a very difficult thing to go from the type of baby faces that they were to heels and play it well. Sometimes it comes off forced. Sometimes it just comes off very cringe. They've both embodied the heel and babyface characters, and they've done it to perfection. I mean, what else is there for Johnny to do? I feel like he can do anything. But with Kushida, man, Kushida's too good for WWE. He really is. Kushida is just too good for WWE. This is it. This is it for Kushida. And I'm not saying this is it because he lost this match. This is it. NXT is Kushida's ceiling. And I don't mean that in any disparaging way. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Kushida is a fucking fantastic wrestler. I mean, in some circles, this was a dream match. But this was it for Kushida. He's not winning any NXT title. He's not going to the main roster. And if he does, I mean, forget about it. You talk about Adam Cole having a double deep, double wide casket waiting for him at the hands of Bruce Pritchard. This guy is destined for 205 Live. Kushida will go nowhere. You know, he does the whole watch gimmick. Call up to the main roster. It's only a matter of time before you're buried by Brother Love, bro. Give me a break. This is it. He's going nowhere in WWE, and that's a damn shame. The fact that we can already predict this guy's ceiling. And again, I mean that in no disparaging way, but you guys know me and my take on the main roster. You watch the main roster every single week. You know. WWE has absolutely nothing for Kushida on the main roster. This match was awesome. I can only imagine it would be 1,000 times better with an actual live audience there. But these guys legitimately beat the shit out of each other. A lot of chain wrestling in the beginning of this thing, just showing how good Kushida and Johnny Gargano really are. They were probably very excited to be in the ring with each other. Gargano hit a suplex and floated over into a cover about 25% through this match. Kushida kicked out immediately. They fought over a backslide attempt, but Gargano transitioned into a release suplex and a soccer kick to Kushida's arm. Gargano kept up the attack with some submission holds. Kushida turned it into an octopus stretch. Gargano escaped into a cradle. They exchanged cradles until Kushida locked in a submission hold for a near fall. Both men popped up and landed clotheslines for a nice double down to each other. So they traded strikes in the center of the ring before Kushida hit his hip toss into the low dropkick combination. Kushida landed in curb stomps to Gargano, who at this point was on the defensive. He attempted a hammerlock suplex, but Gargano escaped. Gargano hit an enziguri and avoided one from Kushida. And then they transitioned into an ankle lock. Gargano actually was on the defensive again after this. Kushida hit an ankle lock and then a German suplex into a buzzsaw kick for 2. Kushida then sent Gargano to the floor. Gargano went for a slingshot suplex, but Kushida caught him in a DDT before maintaining a hold into a Northern Lights bridge suplex for 2, which looked absolutely beautiful. Kushida cut off a slingshot attempt from Gargano, drove his left arm into the turnbuckle, so that was the difference maker here. You saw what Kushida was going for. Handspring kick stunned Gargano on the top rope, but Kushida went for a hoverboard lock. So he's working on the arm for the hoverboard lock. Gargano countered out and hit a second rope twisting suplex and a step-up swinging DDT for a 2 count. Gargano went for a chicken wing, but Kushida hit a move and transitioned into an armbar. Gargano rolled through for a 2 count, hit two clotheslines rather, into another double down. So they had their second double down of the match tonight. Kushida laid in some kicks. Gargano caught a handspring from Kushida and applied the Gargano escape, which looked great. Kushida had to fight out and attack Gargano's left arm into the hoverboard lock. Gargano went for a clutch-like hold, but Kushida applied a European clutch for a close near fall. Gargano hit a super kick. Kushida hit a punch. Gargano sent Kushida face first into the turnbuckle with his signature lawn dart. They traded elbows back and forth before Kushida hit a corner suplex on Johnny. An overhead suplex allowed Kushida to lock in a cross arm breaker again. Gargano tried to block it. Kushida broke the grip. He reapplied it. After a long back and forth, Gargano was able to roll to the ropes. Kushida then went for the hoverboard lock on the floor. Gargano drove him into the barricade to escape. Kushida appeared on the stage. He was at the top of the ramp. Soccer kicked Gargano's arm before locking in a flying hoverboard lock off the top rope. Gargano positioned Kushida between the ropes, sent Kushida into them neck first before following it up with a one final beat DDT from the ramp. And then he delivered a second one in the ring. And that was enough for Gargano to get the win and retain the North American Championship. Awesome, awesome match. I know a lot of you guys are disappointed that Kushida didn't win. A lot of you expected Kushida to win this match. But if you watch NXT television, I mean, I don't know what gave you the impression that WWE was going to go with Kushida over Johnny Gargano. A, they love Johnny. B, Johnny hasn't really done anything in this North American title run that he's now had for a third time. And they're feuding Dexter Lumis as an offset feud while he was feuding with Kushida. So that right there should have given you guys the impression that Johnny was going to move on from Kushida and move on to Dexter Lumis. Now, the one thing I loved about this, on top of it being a great wrestling match, there was no Indy Hartwell, there was no Candice LeRae, and there was no Austin Theory out there. Johnny won this clean. He beat Kushida clean. That's it. That's another exclamation point on him not getting another shot at Johnny Gargano. It's over. But it's also an exclamation point on WWE's booking of their heels tonight. So many times we see heels just cheating to win, and a guy like Johnny is using sly tactics and cheesy tactics to win the match. He won clean. I've said it for years. You don't need heels to cheat every time to win. There's a moment where that does need to come into play. But The fact that he won clean tonight, I love it. There was nobody out there to help him. It is not a law where it states that heels need to cheat every time to win. He won clean. It makes him look good. It makes him look strong. It solidifies his run as not only a champion, but as a heel as well. He doesn't need that type of guy because he's that fucking good. Let the in-ring work for this heel speak for itself. That's what they did with this booking tonight. So I applaud them. Now, I don't know where they go from here. Looks like Dexter Lumis may be next in line for a North American title. And I can tell you this, WWE is very high, or NXT rather, is very high on Dexter Lumis. I don't know where we see this. I could see this lasting most of the spring into the summer with Dexter Lumis. But if Johnny beat Kushida tonight to inevitably drop that title to Dexter Lumis, who has been there for quite a while, and it's a long time coming for him as well because he's another guy that embodies what NXT really is, lives the fucking gimmick. If Johnny beat Kushida to drop that to Dexter Lumis, I'm all for it. Because Dexter Lumis is fucking great, and he needs a time to shine. And beating a strong Johnny Gargano heel for Dexter Lumis would go so well. It would be exactly what he needs to start this next chapter of his NXT run. So I'm loving that. And if the match with Kushida was as good as it was, knowing how good Johnny is, and Dexter Lumis is really fucking good too, I'm assuming Johnny's going to do the same with Dexter Lumis. Should be very entertaining. Let's check the chat, man. Let's see what's going on here. We got 1439 in the chat. Awesome. This may be the largest NXT audience that I've had in months on the channel, man. I appreciate you guys very, very much for stopping by. If you guys have not hit the thumbs up, I really need you to hit that thumbs up. Helps me out, helps out the channel, and it's free to do so. So make sure you guys go hit that thumbs up. I would appreciate that. And the super chats are open. So make sure you guys go hit the super chats and get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. We're halfway through here, man. Got to shout out my sponsor for tonight's show. It's Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day, man, and you know that the one and only Blue Chew is sponsoring the show tonight. One in the chat. If you guys are going to get busy later tonight. You only got an hour left of Valentine's Day, man. I don't know what the fuck you're doing here. Actually, let me take that back. I'm glad you're here. I may be entertaining or just as entertaining as some of the fucking women you're dating, bro. Give me a break. Blue Chew is unique. It's a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form. And it comes at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets come in all forms. And they can help men gain some extra confidence when it's time to perform, man. So combat all of those forms of ED. I got ED on Monday night when I'm watching fucking Bruce bury Monday Night Raw. But it gives you that extra confidence where it counts, man. Blue Chew is an online prescription service that offers no doctor visits. There's no awkward conversations and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Ships right to your front door in a very discreet package. The process is very simple. Sign up, BlueChew.com, consult with one of their online licensed physicians, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part? Like I said, guys, it's all done online. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your own prescription. You don't gotta swallow any pills here, man. They're all chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are also made in the USA, and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than the average pharmacy. I want you guys to benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and get all your safety information there. BlueChew.com. Special deal tonight for you guys. Code JD at checkout for a free sample. All you guys got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. Once again, guys, that's BlueChew.com. Promo code JD to receive your free month on me And I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring tonight's NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day right here on the post show for Off the Script. Moving on, man. Let's get into the rest of this show. Let's get on with the rest of the show. We got the Men's Dusty Classic. The Men's Dusty Classic. This is MSK, Nash Carter, and Wesley. They went up against my boys, the GYV, the Grizzled. Young veteran Zach Gibson and James Drake, who I think may be the best tag team in all of WWE. And I mean that wholeheartedly, man. They are the best tag team in the WWE. This is you guys love the Revival when they were in NXT. This is exactly what the Revival were in NXT when they were in NXT. This is the new version of NXT's Revival. How great they were. This is them. Zach Gibson and James Drake. I was not big on MSK when I first seen them, man. I thought, they're coming over from Impact. How much of an impact are they going to have? They're in this Dusty Classic. They'll probably get a couple of wins, solidify themselves on the brand, and then they'll either lose in the semifinals or they'll get to the finals and lose. But, man, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked that WWE gave MSK the win here and gave them the Dusty Classic. I feel like that because, not because I'm not big on them. They really made a believer out of me in this entire fucking tournament, especially in this match. But the reason why I'm shocked that they won the tournament is because not only are the Grizzled young veterans with NXT UK and NXT, they're Triple H guys, and they've been here. This is their second final now after being in the finals last year. They're WWE guys. They've been there, and they've busted their ass to get here. And I found it very hard to believe that WWE was going to give a team like MSK the finals and the win, and they are only here for basically a cup of coffee and maybe half a croissant. I didn't think they were going to give the Dusty Classic to a team coming over from Impact immediately. I guess I was wrong. MSK wins. They beat the Grizzled young veterans in what I thought was an unbelievable tag team match. Couple of things of note here. Number one, I just mentioned before that I wasn't big on MSK at the start of this tournament. They made me a big fan after this tournament, after this match. They are exactly what we all fell in love with when NXT was in its golden era. They embody the essence of NXT, and they're damn good at what they do. Now, I said to a couple of people in the community, I said to a couple of podcast colleagues that I think their ceiling is just like Kushida. And I stick by that. WWE's tag team division on the main roster is complete trash. They have no division. They don't give a shit about tag team wrestling. So moving these guys up to a Raw or a SmackDown when their time is done here might be a career killer. But you look at them here and you ask yourself, how could Vince or Bruce look at these guys and not want to push them? I said they're destined for 205 Live. I said they're destined to be in the same place where the Lucha House Party are right now. They won't do anything with them on the main roster. Just look at the size of them. I mean, they should be up there as far as tag teams in this company. They embody everything that NXT is. And as far as these guys go, I don't know how you watch this match. I don't know how anybody on the main roster watches this match. The suits and ties on the main roster, Bruce, Vince, and all the creative people watch this tag team match on NXT tonight, and you don't feel compelled to book a better tag team division. I don't see how you find that there's no money in tag team wrestling. I don't. It makes me wonder why we're even here. Merge the fucking divisions already. How are you producing tag team matches like this every once in a blue? And we can never get this on the main roster. If WWE actually put their heads together and put their fucking creative, their terrible creative aside and actually gave a shit about what they were doing, we all talk about AEW having the best tag team division. If WWE merged the tag team divisions on both shows and really set aside who's a tag team and who's not, and they merged the Raw and SmackDown tag team divisions, WWE could have a tag team division that could compete with AEW, but they refuse to do so. Now, I don't know what this means for the tournament and tag team wrestling in NXT. I mean, going into the tournament, there were a lot of makeshift tag teams in this tournament to begin with. Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. You got the Undisputed Era, who is ultimately on the fucking breakup. You got you had Kushida and fucking Leon Ruff as a tag team. There were not a lot of real legit tag teams in this tournament. MSK and the Grizzled Young Veterans were two of the real tag teams in this tournament. You had Legado del Fantasma, you got Breezango who are there, but that's it. Outside of those 4 teams, you got Imperium that are there, 5 teams. That's a good solid 5, but I don't call 5 tag teams a division. It's not really a division. You need more like 8, 9, 10 tag teams. What is NXT doing after this tournament? What are they going to do to make this tag team division like the women's division? They need to get their heads together and start rebuilding this division and put a lot of effort into this division like you did the women's division. Tag team wrestling was it in NXT. They had everything. I mean, just go back and watch. That's what I want to know. These guys are great. The Grizzled Young Veterans are great. Imperium is great. Breezango, they got some value, but they're not really a team that I want winning tag team titles. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, another one, 6 teams. They got a solid division. You had 3 or more teams there, goodbye. That's it. I don't know, man. That's what I'm thinking about. MSK may go on to win the tag team titles. There's no way that Breezango are going to hold those tag team titles with these guys coming after them. So pretty much you're looking at the new tag team champions in NXT. Triple H must have fallen in love with these guys immediately. They've been given the tournament. They're probably going to be given the tag team titles. It's awesome. These guys put on a goddamn show tonight, man. These teams, I don't know. Listen, I'm not familiar with what they did in Impact, but this got to be up there with some of the best stuff that they've done in their career. This must be a number 1 career highlight for them. So early on, Gibson and Carter were overpowering MSK. The veterans isolated Carter in their corner. They got heat on the baby faces. Drake and Gibson went after each other, grinding holds, quick back and forth between both of them on MSK. Carter made a couple of escape attempts, but he would always get cut off, including a strong clothesline from Drake for a 2 count. Carter countered a suplex into one of his own, but Gibson ran interference, preventing Lee from the tag. The official distracted. The Grizzled Young Veterans hit an assisted dropkick for a 2. Drake grounded Carter one more time and tagged in Gibson, but Carter avoided a double team and tagged in Wes Lee with the hot tag. Lee ran wild on both vets with running kicks before hitting a snapmare into a dropkick on Gibson. The vets regrouped. Lee landed an awesome corner tope con hero on both men over the turnbuckle, Ricochet style. We even seen Damian Priest do that a couple of times in NXT. Back in the ring, Lee connected with a back handspring kick for a 2. Drake pushed Lee off the top rope, and Gibson looked to take advantage with a powerbomb, but Lee escaped into an X-Factor. Carter tagged back in, landed some drop kicks on both guys before taking down Gibson and laying in some ground and pound offense. Springboard cutter, followed by a 2 count. Gibson fired up, fought off both MSK guys, but Lee landed an enziguri to the back of his head. He tried to follow it up with another handspring kick, but Gibson kicked him out of the air. Gibson hit a helter-skelter, and Drake hit a 450 for a near fall. The vets then went for a doomsday device, but Lee rolled through into a cradle. Gibson kicked out, beat him down. Carter broke up, ticket to mayhem. MSK hit their assisted standing moonsault and reverse Rana. I love that move, man. It's so fucking cool to see. Carter tagged in, landed a senton atomico before Lee hit a corkscrew senton, which was absolutely gorgeous. They went for a heart attack, but Lee was sent to the floor. Gibson had Lee up in the electric chair, and Drake came through the ropes with a tope suicida doomsday device. Holy shit. Fucking awesome, man. The vets tried to isolate Carter with Lee on the outside. Carter fought back on both guys. He was overwhelmed by the 2-on-1 advantage. The vets hit a powerbomb backstabber combination for a 2 count. Gibson was screaming at Carter. hit a stiff slap to Carter's face. Lee ran in, made the save. MSK downed the vets with super kicks. Lee tagged in, and he hit a springboard doomsday flipping neck breaker. Don't know what it's called, but it looked gorgeous. 1, 2, 3, and MSK wins the Dusty Finals tonight at TakeOver, man. Awesome fucking match. They are going to be your new tag team champions. Now, I said before, and I'm going to say it again, NXT, they got the best women's division in the world. If Triple H goes out and puts their heads together, his head together with the creative team, and gives us another 2 or 3 teams in that division, man, we could be looking at a renaissance or a rebirth of the NXT tag team division from when it was fucking great. MSK's leading the charge here, man. Really loving what they're doing. You got the Vets, you got Imperium, 2 of the best tag teams in the WWE. 2 of the best tag teams in WWE, period. Number 1 and 2. MSK's up there. Tag team wrestling is coming from NXT. Nothing's happening on the main roster. Nothing. NXT could really rival AEW's tag team division if a little bit more love goes into it. I hope that is the next plan of action for the black and gold brand. There was a video package about Cameron Grimes. I don't know what they're doing with Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes! To the moon! I don't know what they're doing with Cameron Grimes, man. But it looks like he's playing some version of the $1 Million Man. He's like the new hick version of the $1 Million Man. I don't know what the fuck's going on. A more modernized hick version of the $1 Million Man. He was soundtracked by a rap song discussing his cryptocurrency and his monetary fucking gains. He was wearing a Rolex, diamond Rolex. Guy was wearing. He was wearing a Rolex Oyster Perpetual, diamonds up and down the gold band, diamond bezel, silver fucking dial. One of the lyrics in the thing was, I didn't even take notes on this shit. You can kiss my grits, was one of the lines. I thought it was entertaining. He's dancing by poolside, throwing money around. I don't know, man. I don't know where they're going with Cameron Grimes, but God bless him. He's entertaining. I'll give him that. Moving on here, man. The NXT Women's Championship. This was Io Shirai coming on in as champion. Defending against Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes Martinez, as you guys know, was destined for failure on the main roster. She was in Retribution. And I don't know what it was with Mercedes Martinez, but I have it within my better judgment to think that Triple H seen what was going on here, and he told Bruce and he told Vince, listen, guys, what the fuck are you doing? This woman signed with us. I got this woman to sign with us, and I promised her a great closing chapter on her near 20-year career. She checked off something on her bucket list to come and join me in WWE here in NXT. Join us in WWE. You want to pull her from my grasp after I gave her a whole new character change, a whole new portrayal, new theme music, new look. Really stood out as an instant killer in the NXT women's division. And you want to go pull her from my grasp and put her in a fucking mask and put her in a group that's already failing. Changing her name to God knows what they were going to change her name to. We got Reckoning as Mia Yim. I think they were going to name her Revival or whatever. Retribution, whatever the fuck they were going to name her. Retaliation was the name they were going to go with. Retaliation. And I said constantly, I said this week after week, WWE didn't give a fuck. They wanted what they wanted when they wanted it. But I look at Mercedes Martinez, and she can make all the excuses in the world. I think she came out and said that her son has a compromised immune system, and she didn't want to show up on WWE TV in the middle of the pandemic or whatever the case may be. But that was maybe a small reason as to why they were doing what they were doing. Keeping her off TV. This woman wrestled for 20 years, and you want to change her name, the name that she's made money off of for the last 20 years, and you want to change her name, you want to put her in a fucking mask, and nobody knows who the fuck she is. That's how you want this woman to end her fucking career? So she probably said something mixed with Triple H saying something. They move her back down to NXT, and she's immediately in the title picture. Io Shirai, the best at what she does. Toni Storm, always a quality act, but not really digging her heel work. I'm not digging her heel work, man. I look at Toni, and I mean, it's nowhere near a Bayley situation. I've given it enough time to say, you know what, it ain't working. I think Toni just embodies a babyface more so than she does a heel. She's young enough to where this is just the beginning of her real career, her WWE run. But I don't see her excelling as a heel. I think she's going to make it as a babyface. So I'm not really digging Toni as a heel right now. But this match, I don't know what happened to the crowd here, man. The crowd seemed very disinterested in this. But after the first 3 matches on this show, I mean, it's not really difficult to see why the crowd was kind of taken out of this. The first 3 matches were incredible. Each one of them getting better. You got Johnny and Kushida, who probably had the best match of the night in many circles. I'm going to go with the tag team match. I thought the tag team match with the men was the best match of the night. MSK and the Grizzled Young Vets. I thought that was the best match of the night. But when you got 3 matches like that embody TakeOver, and then you have to follow all that with this, these 3 women were shit out of luck. Shit out of luck, man. So, we had a dead crowd here. I don't know what happened. And not that this match was bad, but standing next to everything else that happened on tonight's show, this was easily the worst match of the night. And by no fault of its own. It's just the other matches were better. So, Martinez attacked Shirai during the ring announcements. This led to the match starting right away. There was a lot of 2 in the ring and 1 out of the match early on the outside. So 2 were in the ring and 1 was sleeping on the outside. Storm counted Shirai in this back and forth between these 2 early, which was a throwback to their Mae Young Classic final at Revolution, which in that period of time I reviewed that show, I thought that they didn't get nearly enough time. We got Ronda Rousey and fucking Nikki Bella on that show, man. You could have given whatever the fuck you gave them to Toni and Io for the Mae Young Classic final. So this was a nice throwback to what they did there. Nice little history between these 2. Martinez got involved with Io and Toni and hit a draping neckbreaker on the floor. Shirai went for an Asai moonsault, but Martinez avoided it, and Shirai went crashing into the barricade. Martinez and Storm had a nice little exchange in the ring, which Martinez won with a nice spine buster for a 2 count. Martinez went for the 3 Amigos suplex, but Storm fought out of the 3rd, and Shirai landed a missile dropkick. Shirai charged in with double knees on Martinez, but Storm followed up with a black hole slam. Martinez surprised Storm with another spine buster for a quick count of a 2. Shirai broke up a Martinez submission attempt and locked on a crossface of her own. Martinez had the hold applied and applied a dragon sleeper on Shirai, forcing her to break. But before Martinez herself broke the hold, she hit an inverted suplex. Shirai sent Martinez into the ropes and landed a Tiger feint kick. Storm and Shirai fought up top. Martinez pushed Shirai to the floor and hit a top rope German suplex. Martinez was stuck in a tree of woe, allowing Shirai to come off the top rope with a beautiful double stomp. Martinez and Shirai fought on the floor, and this is where things just got really laughable, man. So, Shirai was outside with Martinez. There was a Death Valley driver spot into the barricade. So Storm comes over and she lays out Martinez with a clothesline. And she goes to clear off the announce table. Now, what I forgot to mention was, with MSK in the previous match, there might have been a dive to the outside that the MSK guys, Wesley in particular, did. He does a dive to the outside on the Vets in the men's final. And after he hits it, he takes his fists and he pounds the announce desk 3 times. And I'm like, bro, listen, is it worth breaking your fucking hands the way you were pounding the announce desk, right? Punching the announce desk. Just keep that in the back of your mind. So with Wesley pounding the announce desk, fucking nailing his fists on the announce desk, in this match, Toni Storm goes over to the announce desk. She clears off the monitors and she wants to put one of these women through a table. She wanted to, I guess, put Martinez through a table. So She's standing there, clearing off the announce table, and the table just collapses. The table just breaks. She stands there. She wanted to throw her fucking hands in the air like, Jesus fucking Christ, I fucked up. What the fuck happened? She's standing there. What do I do now? She went for the Storm Zero anyway. I guess she wanted to do a Storm Zero on Mercedes Martinez through the table, but Martinez countered with a DDT. So the table broke by itself. The table exposed the business. Now, remember when I said Wesley was in the match with the vets just right before this and he was pounding the announce desk? That's exactly what happened. There's no other reason why that announce desk broke. He pounded that fucking desk. Nobody realized what was going on, and the fucking thing just collapsed when Toni Storm put whatever weight she was about to do on the table. I laughed out loud, man. It's no fault of her own, man. Really, no fault of her own. WWE's just got to get better tables. Those tables sound terrible anyway, man. I don't know what they are thinking with those tables. Either go back to the fucking regular tables, get something a little bit more modern that's actually a lot more stable, that sounds good when you put someone through it. I understand why they use these fucking bullshit tables. They probably are made of nothing. Plastic or styrofoam, a mixture of the two, so it keeps everybody safe when you want to put someone through it. But man, does it look and sound terrible. And then you got something like this happening, which is no fault of Toni Storm's. So Martinez countered Toni with a DDT. The camera was looking up. Io is climbing one of these staging structures that is in this the Capitol Wrestling Center. She comes diving off the structure with a crossbody on both Storm and Martinez. Martinez sent Shirai into the steel steps afterwards and brought Storm back into the ring. Martinez laid in knee strikes on Storm, followed by a fisherman's buster for a 2. Storm fought out of a fireman's carry and hit a headbutt before hitting Storm Zero on what I thought was the ending of the match. I thought she had won it there. And Shirai, she hasn't been in the match. She just disappeared. After jumping off the structure, she just kind of, I guess, sold on the outside. Storm comes off the top rope with a flying headbutt, but Shirai broke it up with a moonsault, pinning Martinez to retain. And Io takes full advantage of Toni getting a big move on Mercedes Martinez. Io comes off the top with the moonsault. She pushes Toni out of the way. Toni selling the headbutt, and Io makes the cover. 1, 2, 3. I'm assuming we'll get Toni and Io for the title at some point, being that Toni kind of got robbed in that situation. It falls into the rules of the triple threat match, but I think Toni and Io are far from done. But this match ended with Io retaining the title, and rightfully so. There's nobody better than her right now, and she is the top of that women's division. The one thing I love about the women's division, man, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, and I had it in my mind. I wanted to talk about it, but there's really no difference if I talk about it then or now. The one thing I love about the women's division in NXT, and I got to give Triple H all the credit in the world for what he's done with the women's division in NXT. If you look at the Raw and SmackDown women's division, you see who is at the top and who they love and who they want to push and who they want to be at the top. And you see everybody else fighting for crumbs on the main roster. You got your Charlottes, you got your Asukas, you got your Baileys, whoever else is there that they're pushing. Bianca now. Rhea, I'm sure, is going to be at the top. Becky, when she comes back in. Those are going to be the solid names at the top. Everybody else seemingly is fighting for crumbs on the main roster. If any of those, if you take a Ruby Riott, or you take a Liv Morgan, or you take a Peyton Royce, and you put them in the ring against a Sasha, or a Bayley, or a Charlotte, or an Asuka, you automatically think, man, this is a mismatch. Like, I get Asuka's the champion, or I get that Sasha is the champion, but you get a Ruby Riott in there, or you get a Liv Morgan in there, a Peyton Royce in there, challenging one of the top-tier females, and it's like, they don't belong there. Like, why am I going to believe in them beating the champion, or why am I going to believe in them standing toe-to-toe with a Sasha, a Charlotte, or an Asuka? They don't belong there. I don't feel that way when I watch Triple H and what he's done in the women's division with NXT. Like, you could take Io. You know Io is at the top because she's the champion. But you could take a Candice LeRae and put her in there with an Io, and you automatically think, man, this is a good match. Man, I think Candice could take the title. You could put an Ember in there. Oh, man, this is going to be a good match. Ember could be the new women's champion at the end of the night. You could put a Raquel Gonzalez, a Dakota Kai in there. You could put a Toni Storm in there, Mercedes Martinez. You could put anybody in there in the women's division. And you could believe that on any given night, one of those women could take the title off of Io Shirai. It's not a complete blowout. What I'm trying to say is Triple H has developed this women's division to a point where every single woman has gotten an opportunity. You could put a Shotzi in there, and she would stand toe-to-toe with an Io and would make it believable. You wouldn't have no problem with that. Triple H has given everybody an opportunity to be an equal. Every single woman has gotten an opportunity on NXT to a point where they are slowly elevating everybody. And when you do that, Io, at the end of it all, has so many different women that she can run through, and it's not going to be at a point where Io is lacking competition. This is why we have a problem with the women's division on Monday and Friday night. There's no fucking competition. This is exactly how you book a division. It's not that difficult. None of these women feel out of place. None of these women feel like a pushover standing next to Io Shirai. Why is it so difficult to grasp that concept? You get better and you gain momentum and you develop consistency in your division with competitive matches and wins. Simple. That's what Triple H has done. That's what Triple H has done with the NXT Women's Division. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It really is. NXT Championship. Main event. Finn Balor. Pete Dunne. Title on the line. I got news on Finn Balor. I got news on Finn Balor. I got news on the NXT title. I got a lot of news, man, if I can just find it. We got NXT contemplating that the title will be defended at WrestleMania. Now, I talked about this briefly on Off the Script this past weekend on Saturday. WWE's weighing the options for the NXT title match at WrestleMania. Now, this was during a conference call for the TakeOver Vengeance Day show tonight. Triple H was asked about the possibility of NXT matches on the WrestleMania card. He said it's a balancing act and a lot of things need to be taken into consideration. Triple H would love for NXT to have a match on the biggest WWE event of the year, but he didn't confirm that it's happening again this time around. Now, they might run a TakeOver event around that time as well. Nobody knows. WWE has TakeOver running their standalone shows on Sunday away from the big main roster shows. So, we don't know when the next TakeOver show is after this. I'm assuming it'll be in May. So we'll see what happens. But he says this, and I quote, "My thoughts on it are that it's great. You come into a place with WrestleMania with so many brands, Raw, the big roster on Raw, the big roster on SmackDown, the large roster on NXT, and you get to a certain place where it's how big and how long do you want these shows to be? Everybody is sort of putting their chips on the table, so to speak, for their spot in Mania. As always, that's the biggest spot of the year. Not everyone can be in those spots, and I think everybody understands that. But that's the battle. It's a balancing act, and that is my opinion. I just think that it balances it out. I love them being a part of it. If you tell me that NXT gets to be a part of the biggest stage in the game and the biggest spectacle, it's phenomenal. It just helps continue to drive it forward. It's just a matter of time, or a matter of how much time you can fit into WrestleMania that weekend, and you know what is the benefit of having its own platform of an NXT TakeOver that week. It's a balancing act, but I love it if we can do it. I said this on the podcast on Saturday when I talked about this. I think the NXT title, if there's no TakeOver event that weekend, I think the NXT title being defended at WrestleMania on one of the two nights, especially this year, with it probably being the last year WWE does a two-night WrestleMania, I think the NXT title being one of the major matches on that show for either a Saturday or Sunday is something that I want them to do. I think it would be great for that to happen. Because not only does it get that talent in front of the biggest stage, in front of as many eyes as you will see all year, but it also brings importance to the NXT title, and it brings importance to the brand itself as you have it on Wednesday night competing against somebody in AEW or something in AEW. So it's a win-win situation. I don't know why they wouldn't explore that. The only reason why I think that WWE, Vince and Bruce and Dunne and all these fucking idiots on the main roster, the only reason why I think they wouldn't do it or explore it is because if you put a Balor or a Cole or an O'Reilly or a Cross, who knows where he's going to factor into the NXT title. If you put any one of those combination of guys in a match, it could be a fatal four-way, it could be a Balor Cross match, it could be a Cole or Balor match, it could be an O'Reilly versus Cole. It does any combination of those guys on the main roster. More than likely, it's going to blow everything else away on the show. So the only reason why I think it wouldn't happen is because those guys are going to outshine the main roster guys. And the main roster can't be upstaged by developmental, right? Or what they think is developmental, the minor leagues in NXT. But I think it's a great deal to get NXT on that WrestleMania show, especially this year. Like I said, with it being the last year, there'll be a 2-night show. What's the difference? I would rather see the NXT title on the fucking show than a nothing match that you're going to put between God knows who on the main roster. What did we have last year? Dolph Ziggler and Otis? Fuck it. That doesn't belong on WrestleMania's card. Get it off the show and put something a little bit more important. Something that's going to benefit everybody and the brand. But WWE, I have it in the back of my mind, and a lot of people feel the same way. They don't want NXT to succeed. The reason why these main roster shows don't include NXT TakeOver anymore is because every single time there was a TakeOver show, it outshined the main roster show. How many times did we say a TakeOver was better than the Royal Rumble or TakeOver New York was better than WrestleMania in 2018? How many? How many fucking years? WWE doesn't like hearing that. That was the real WrestleMania. TakeOver New York was my WrestleMania. They don't want to hear that. Give it its own Sunday. That's why you see these TakeOver shows as standalone shows now. Triple H had to fight for that one. Actually, he might not have had to fight for that one. WWE probably said, hey, you know what? Let's talk about our TakeOver schedule. Triple H probably brought this up. Hey, go ahead. Do what you got to do. Have fun. I don't give a fuck about NXT. But an NXT title match on WrestleMania's night, whether it's night 1 or night 2, I think is a great deal for everybody. Now, as far as Finn Balor goes, Finn Balor says he wants WWE to work with other pro wrestling companies. I wonder why. He wants to work with other pro wrestling companies while being employed by WWE. Wishful thinking, bro. Go find that magic lantern. Have the genie pop out. And have that one be one of your 3 wishes. Not going to happen. So he says this in regards to that. He spoke to Bleacher Report. Finn Balor commented on the current stage or the current change of pro wrestling right now. Balor added that he's been an advocate for cross-promotional events for years and feels that pro wrestlers shouldn't be limited to what their contracts or companies say. Yeah, go tell that to Vince McMahon. He's definitely open to an open border policy between pro wrestling companies. It says this, and I quote, I know there's a lot of cross-brand work going on, which is something I've been an advocate for years. I don't feel like we should be limited to what our contract says or what company we could work for. I feel like wrestling on the whole can be better if we all work together. So if that means me going to Japan or me going to Europe or me going to Mexico, I'm down with that. I'm all for an open border policy, not just between countries, but companies as well. End quote. He sees what his buddies are doing in Japan. He sees what his buddies in AEW are doing, and he wants in on the action, man. This is why I've always said, even with this match with Pete Dunne tonight, if Balor is the NXT champion and he drops it to a Cross, what is next for Finn Balor in NXT? What is next for Finn? There really isn't anything left for him to do. Now, Balor in his first run brought name recognition to NXT because NXT was going this way. NXT was becoming the hottest brand in all of the world when Balor was there. When Balor left, it only got better. So he was definitely helping in the trajectory of NXT. And I love Finn Balor. I think Balor is fucking great. He's one of my favorites on the roster. This may be my favorite run of Finn Balor, just based on his character work and his body of work. But you look at Finn Balor now, what has he done in NXT? Has he made NXT better? Has he given more name value to NXT compared to his first run? Has he taken NXT here, or has NXT gone down with him? Not necessarily his fault, but what has NXT done with Balor as his champion? Balor is not making an impact on NXT. Whether NXT has Balor or not, they'd be in the same boat that they're in now. I don't know what he wants to do, what he plans to do, what his mental state is as far as his career goes. He says he's better now than he was 20 years ago. When he was first starting out, he feels great. But as far as Balor goes, I feel like if his contract is up, does he want to stay in WWE, work the cozy schedule, make the easy money, have the time off to spend with his wife and do what he wants to do and travel and go on vacation and just take it easy and work at a high level with minimal work? Or does he want to go somewhere else? Does he want to go back to Japan? Does he want to go to AEW? Does he want to be involved with this forbidden door being opened finally with New Japan and AEW and Impact? Does he want to be there with his boys? What does Balor want to do? Does he want to end his career as the guy who was great but really didn't have any memorable moments? Or does he want to go and change the world with his boys? With him saying that, it sounds like to me that his mind is in NXT and his heart is with his boys. You know, he's not afraid to tweet what he really feels, Balor. He's talked about this on Twitter. He's tweeted Anderson and Gallows, and he's included Cole, and he's included the Bucks. These guys are lifelong friends, man. His mind is in NXT, but his heart is somewhere else. I don't know how many months he has on his contract, but Balor may be best with this intertwining of promotions going on. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with that. I'd be very curious to know how many months he's got left on his contract. And then he mentioned something about the Demon King, which is quite interesting as we head into WrestleMania, man. He spoke to the New York Post about his match with TakeOver and Pete Dunne. Balor was asked whether he would bring back the Demon King persona. He says this, and I quote, he says there will be a time where he has to bring back the Demon King against a notable opponent. And definitely, he said, obviously there are moments in time for everything, but right now it doesn't feel like the time for the Demon King is here. But I'm sure there will be a moment where I go, okay, now it's time to rock. You know, Karrion Kross might be that time, but we will have to see how events kind of develop for that. His character is definitely something that is very intriguing to the audience. Whether the Demon can add an element to that kind of situation when it arises will be interesting. If there's an NXT title match at WrestleMania and his opponent is Karrion Kross, the Demon King must appear. And that's it. If Kross is going to beat the Demon King, that may spell the end of Finn Balor in NXT. I have no idea. But the Demon King playing up to Scarlett and Karrion Kross, I think that is something that definitely needs to happen. So we're moving on here, man. We're going to talk about this Pete Dunne match against Balor for the NXT title. This was a great main event, but I will say this about it being a great main event, man. It's tough to get invested in something like this because no matter how great Finn Balor is and no matter how great Pete Dunne is, and they're both phenomenal, I think me as the overly analytical fan and thinking 4 steps ahead, where they're going with the title, where they're going with Balor, what they've done with this storyline with Pete Dunne, it was not enough for me to get invested, okay? Pete Dunne aligning himself with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, it's not enough to get me to care about a title match against Finn Balor, okay? I think Pete Dunne deserves better than that. This was an interim match, a filler match that is only a means to an end with Karrion Kross. And that's all I felt during this match. There's no emotional investment in what these guys are doing. It was just me being a pro wrestling fan watching 2 guys who are great at their craft and they delivered a great pro wrestling match. There's nothing more. Nothing more. Because I know at the end of all this, it's either Cross getting the title, or if it's not Cross getting the title, which I would assume that they're heading that way because that's what he's come back for. If Cross goes to the main roster, which I think he should, I don't think he belongs in NXT. I don't think they need him in NXT. If Cross doesn't get the title, I see O'Reilly winning the title. But Balor is dropping the title in the next month and a half, no question. So that's what I felt during this entire thing. This was a great match, though. Great match. They were working back and forth. Two submission specialists here. They were going back and forth on submissions. Balor finally turned it around with a deathlock before rotating into a modified figure four. Standing position, Balor sent Dunne to the mat. Applauded crab. Boston crab. Not crab like you see in Titus Catering. A Boston crab. Dunne brought Balor back to the ground, targeted his head, but Balor kept his grip on Dunne's leg. Dunne went for a modified X-Plex. Hit it for a 2 count. They traded strikes in the quarter, but Balor caught Dunne's leg and stomped on it, using the ropes for an assist. Dunne cradled Balor for a 2, hit an enziguri, but the champion came right back with a lariat for a near fall. Balor laid in strikes before focusing his attack on Dunne's leg again. Toe hold was locked in. Balor hit forearms on the back of Dunne's head before applying an STF. Dunne fought out by driving Balor's fingers into the mat. So the fingers were targeted as well by Pete Dunne. Targeting all those limbs. That's what Pete Dunne does best. So Balor at this point was frustrated. He hit some knife-edge chops. He used an illegal rope assist to hold down Dunne. Dunne tried to use his corner escape, and he recovered, selling his knee. Dunne kept up on the attack with some forearms, some stomps, a powerbomb for a 2. Dunne hit his signature arm stomp, snap German suplex before going back to Balor's hands and stomping on his hands. Balor swept out Dunne's leg, hit a backstabber and a shotgun dropkick, sending Dunne into the corner. Dunne countered the coup de grace into a triangle hold. Back and forth they went. Balor reached the rope, and he broke the hold. So Balor was selling. A lot of people thought he was unconscious. I thought he was selling, but it looked like he was playing possum at this point. He sold himself being unconscious. Dunne tried to follow his attack, but the referee had to check on Balor. Balor said he can continue. He jumped up, popped up, locked on an abdominal stretch, bringing Dunne down to the mat. Dunne escaped with his signature finger spot. So Dunne, he held Balor's hand. He would not let go of Balor's hand. So Balor laid in some stomps. Dunne still wouldn't let go. And he used his grip on Balor's hand to hit a beautiful bitter end for a damn near close near fall. Dunne stomped on Balor's hands again, went for another powerbomb, but Balor turned it into a DDT. Dunne hit an enziguri. Balor hit a dropkick. Dunne came back with a buzzsaw kick. They had a counter sequence which Balor won. Lifting suplex. Dunne wouldn't let go of Balor's fingers and snapped them again. But Balor no-sold it. Stomped on Dunne's back. Balor then ripped out Dunne's mouth guard. He threw it away. Hit a shotgun dropkick. Went up top. Coup de grace. Followed by the 1916. And that was it for Balor to retain the title. Excellent match. Just not real emotional investment in what they did leading up to it for me to care enough that Balor retained the title in a great match. After the match, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch laid out Balor in the ring. We had an official tried to break it up, but they sent him packing. So they took him out. They put their hands on the official, so some fines should be coming their way. Undisputed Era's music played. Dunne and company ran out to the stage as Cole, Strong, and O'Reilly chased them off. O'Reilly helped Balor up and called him a real world champion. So they did the NXT trademark logo in the corner. The show was about to end. So they all lined up. Balor was talking to O'Reilly. They were saying something, mouthing off to each other. They all stood in the middle of the ring. They were about to do the Undisputed Era hand logo, hand gesture. All of a sudden, Adam Cole super kicks Balor out of nowhere. Flattens him with a super kick. O'Reilly confronted him, and he took a super kick for his trouble. So Cole delivers a super kick to Balor, and he laid out O'Reilly with a super kick. Roderick Strong yelling at Adam Cole, "What the fuck you doing? What are you doing?" Cole walked up the ramp. Balor and O'Reilly were laid out. Strong acted like he didn't know what the fuck was going on. Looked like he was conflicted about where he wanted to be. Do I stay with Adam Cole? Do I stay with these guys? What do I do? And the show went off the air. Like I said in the beginning of the show, man, this was a great little added element to the overall title picture here going into WrestleMania weekend because it was looking like Balor and Cross. Now that they added this situation, it might be leading to a little bit more of an unpredictable situation. But with Adam Cole, I don't know where they're going with this. We could see O'Reilly and Cole battle it out for Undisputed Era leadership, and that's goodbye for Adam Cole. We could have a fatal four-way between all four of these guys, Cole, O'Reilly, Balor, and Cross at WrestleMania. We could get the one-on-one match between Cole and O'Reilly or Balor and Cross at WrestleMania. So that gives two, or the next TakeOver rather, that gives two matches already lined up for the next TakeOver show. There's a lot of moving parts here, man. But like I said before, this was a great TakeOver ending. That's the way a TakeOver should end. There was really nothing in NXT that kept me invested in watching. But after what we've seen tonight, I'm absolutely watching next week. They got my attention. I don't want to say this was one of the best takeovers ever, but as far as the pandemic era goes and NXT working out of that building and all the takeovers since this pandemic hit last year, being emanating out of that building, this was probably the best takeover show since NXT has been without a live takeover audience. This was great. The wrestling was great. The booking was great. The ending was great. Very difficult to watch this show and not like what you saw. So I give it a solid 2 thumbs up. And I love the ending angle with Adam Cole leaving the Undisputed Era or laying them out. Gives us a great cliffhanger watching NXT on Wednesday night to know why or to watch, to find out why he did what he did, what his motivation is. So I thought this was a great show, guys, and I hope you thought the same. And I thank you for hanging out with me on the live stream tonight for TakeOver as we get into these super chats now, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed the stream, hit that thumbs up. We got 694 likes, man. Let's try for 800. Let's try for 800, man. Can we do 800? If you guys are new to the stream, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for all notifications, and if you missed any of the content on the channel this weekend, go and check it out, man. Off the Script was great this weekend. Episode 364, go and check that out. And shout out to my sponsor tonight, BlueChew.com. BlueChew.com, use code JD at checkout for your free sample. Follow me on Twitter as well, guys, at JDfromNY206. That is Twitter and Instagram. Let's try and strive for 31,000 followers on the Twitter, man. I appreciate you guys. Let's see what we got, man. Super chats are open. Get them on in if you want to hang out. Chat's going crazy. Chat is going crazy, man. I appreciate you guys in the chat, man, modding. I see there's quite a few trolls in the chat trying to get their shit in, man. We got Hoolagrim, we got Hoop Media, and we got Raging Girl Gamer in the chat. My mod team is A+, bro. My mod team is A+. Jacob Donnelly with a $10 super chat. What's up, my brother? Solid TakeOver show tonight, he says, and hopefully with the ending we saw, NXT can start telling meaningful stories to get me invested as I may start watching weekly again. You and me feel the same way, man. That was an ending angle to definitely get me to watch on Wednesday night. Gregory Benson with a $19.99 super chat. I don't know what it's like in New York City, but here in Memphis, it's been unseasonably cold, man. 16 degrees, ice storm the other day, and snow today for the next 4 days. Other than that, TakeOver was an awesome show tonight. Gregory, listen, brother, I'm sorry you're getting snow, man. I fucking hate the snow. I hate the cold. I can't wait for the nice weather. I can't wait for the baseball season. I can't wait to be sitting outside at a fucking beach bar or a craft beer bar outside on the Jersey Shore. But I hope the snow stays down by you, bro. There's no more additional snow in New York. New Jersey got hit the other day when I was there, but in New York, we missed this last blast of snow. Hopefully it stays that way. Thank you for the $20, brother, and thank you, Jacob, for the $10 super chat. The trolls have no life. You're here watching me on Valentine's Day instead of getting your dick sucked by a girl, you fucking virgins. Ha 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 ha! How does it feel to watch me on a Sunday night trying to troll in a chat room on a pro wrestling live stream on Valentine's Day? Do you realize that you're exposing yourself as a fucking virgin? I mean, how dumb can you fucking be? Seriously. And no, the girlfriend under your fucking bed that's covered in Dorito crumbs doesn't count as a girlfriend, you fucking geek. What a fucking asshole, man. You come into the chat and you spend about 10 seconds here and you're blocked within an eye fucking blink. Fuck out of here, man. Everybody that's trolling in the chat, you've exposed yourself as being a grade A fucking virgin, man. Oh, man. Jesus Christ. I love pro wrestling. $1.99. Thank you, bro. Justin Striplin with the $9.99 super chat. This was the best NXT TakeOver in the pandemic era. I agree. Also, Cole super kicking Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly reminded me of when Shawn Michaels super kicked Marty Jannetty. Bro, listen. Listen. I agree. I agree. And I would not be shocked if Shawn Michaels was the one who wrote that segment and took direct influence from that moment. I love pro wrestling with the $4.99 super chat. TakeOver kicked ass tonight. Can you please unban me, JD? My current name is Nate Amstutz. I'm not a troll. I'm a legit fan wanting to be unbanned. Unbanned where? You're in the fucking stream donating $4.99. So clearly you're not banned in the stream. You want me to unban you on Twitter? No. I am very strict with my Twitter. If you're banned on Twitter, there's probably a good reason why you're banned on Twitter. Man, you trolls are funny, man. You really are. Bro, I'm being paid. I'm being paid to be here. I got fans super chatting. YouTube's gonna pay me handsomely for this live stream. I'm drinking a sponsored beverage that they sent me on the house. I got thousands upon thousands of equipment sitting in front of me, giving you the best sounding fucking podcast in the YWC. And you're in my chat trolling me. For what? Bro, listen, that 6-week-old pizza underneath the bed needs to be cleared out. Don't let me call your mother. Your room smells like a fucking gym locker, bro. You got tissues under the bed. I know what you're doing in the wee hours of the morning in the dark, bro. I saw the Vaseline on your nightstand. That blow-up doll underneath your bed, the mouth seems a little worn out. What's going on? Then you'll probably go to school. I trolled JD. Guarantee you, I see a picture of this guy. He's got pimples all over his fucking face. He's sitting in the back of the classroom, right? Sitting alone at the lunch table at his school, all by himself. He's got the fucking 400-pound woman with the hairnet on, scooping some fucking slop onto his dish, hating her life. Then he goes to sit by himself. Why don't I have any friends? Brian Vega. What's up, JD? Adam Cole tonight was good. And NXT. Richard Williams with a $5 super chat. What's up, JD? Thanks for the Blue Chew code. I love it. This NXT show was good. The only thing I didn't like was when Storm broke the table. That was trash, you goon. Big Ben, 24.93. $5 super chat, thank you, man. Do you know why Orton stopped using the gut wrench elevated backbreaker? Also, why Lashley stopped using the Dominator finish in his earlier WWE days? I have no idea, man. The Dominator looked terrible when Lashley did it, but Orton using the gut wrench elevated backbreaker, I have no idea, bro. I have no idea, man. Richard Williams, $2 super chat. JD, can you call me and my friend Brian a goon? Richard and Brian, you fucking goons. Justin Strickland with a $4.99 super chat. Actually, two $4.99 super chats. Forgot to mention this in my other super chat, but the only thing missing from this show was the voice of Mauro Ranallo. I miss Mauro Ranallo. I said in the beginning to myself, man, you got Beth Phoenix who's back. You got Beth Phoenix who's back in NXT at the CWC. You got Wade Barrett, who's great. I like Nigel a little bit better, but Wade Barrett's great. And then you got that guy who's not Mauro Ranallo. So you got Wade, you got Beth, and you got not Mauro Ranallo. This show needs Mauro Ranallo, man. Bro, this one guy in the chat who's got all these fucking names, man, he's probably rushing to make all these names. Dude, this guy is the fucking biggest virgin on planet Earth, bro. He really is. You can tell this guy has absolutely not gotten pussy in about 16 years, man. Jesus Christ. I love the fact that I just dangle the strings, man. I'm being paid, and you're there jerking off to fucking my live stream, creating 16,000 fucking accounts. What a fucking piece of shit virgin, man. Jesus Christ. After hearing that Ty Valkyrie signed with WWE, maybe we get Io Shirai versus Ty Valkyrie at the next TakeOver show. Too soon, bro. You walk in, you can't get a title shot. You gotta walk in and build yourself up. Dr. Glorious Records with a Canadian $2. NXT needs the pandemic era to end and Mauro needs to be back. Absolutely. If Mauro was back, I swear to God, if Mauro was back, I'd watch every week. Paul Wu, JD, could you give me, or could you give my friend, at Justine A, your condolences Her sister passed away from COVID-19. I send my condolences to you, Justine. Justine, I am very sorry to hear that. My thoughts and prayers to you and your family and your friend's family. I hate to hear that. Casey Catanzaro didn't deserve that, says Paul Wu, $2.99. Thank you, Paul. Justin Strippin with another $4.99 super chat. According to what I read, Cameron Grimes' new gimmick was his idea, and it's based on the money he made from the GameStop stock. If he really did that, good for him. I don't know if it's going to get him anywhere, but we'll see what happens. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's very entertaining. Inverted with a $50 super chat. He says, love. Love right back at you, brother. $50 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Florius Nation with a $5 super chat. Happy Valentine's Day, JD. Who has the best frog splash in the business? Montez Ford or Bronson Reed? Bronson Reed by a country mile. Everybody in the chat right now, man, give Justine A in the chat a heart emoji. Everybody in the chat, give Justine a heart emoji right now. Tribal Chief, Canadian $2 super chat. Can you call me a goon in Italian? No, I can call you goon in American. You fucking goon. I don't speak Italian. I only eat it. Israel with a $5 super chat. I'm glad I watched the show. It was great. Along with your review, it looks like Adam Cole, baby, wants to stay in NXT. What you think, JD? No, Adam Cole's being buried on the main roster. Adam Cole's done in NXT. There's nothing more for him to do. Inverted with a $5 super chat. He says, shout out to my boy Eddie. What's up, Eddie? Your boy Chris, $4.99. What's up, JD, and the OTS family? TakeOver was a fantastic show. NXT has my attention on the Adam Cole situation. JD, are you ready for the MLB season? No. I'm not. The Braves never do anything anyway. They get to the playoffs and then they're either gone in the first round or they get to the NLCS and then they choke as always. Florius Nation, $10 super chat. In my opinion, TakeOver Vengeance Day was the best TakeOver since the pandemic. I agree. By the way, if you watch NXT UK yet with Meiko Satomura versus Isla Dawn, highly recommend watching it. No, I don't watch NXT UK. There's just so much going on in America that I don't have time. Thank you, Florius, with the $10. Matthew with a $4.99. Thoughts on feuds you'd like to see if Adam Cole did go to the main roster. Also, what's next for Tommaso Ciampa? Hopefully anything better than Timothy Thatcher. And Adam Cole, give me Cole versus Styles. It writes itself. Vince McMahon's nuts smell like money with a $1.99 UK. Hey, JD, been watching since 2014. Since 2014 from Ayr, Scotland. Drew McIntyre, is that you? We got Jericho, 8131 with a $5 super chat. Do you see Adam Cole debuting on Raw after Mania and attacking Drew if he retains to start an early SummerSlam angle for the Raw Championship? I don't mind it. They got a little bit of history. And if there's one guy to take the title off Drew McIntyre, it certainly is Adam Cole. I'd like it. Chris with a $4.99 super chat. My brother Johnny is watching the live stream. Can you call him a goon for me? Johnny, what's up, you fucking goon? Shout out to all the mods in the live stream and the OGs in the chat, says Chris. Thank you, bro, for the $4.99. And Nathan Hansen with the $2.99, becoming a Patreon as soon as possible. I love you, JD. Nathan, thank you, brother. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. Guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys showing up. Great live stream. Probably my favorite TakeOver review in quite a while, man. Awesome stuff. I love being prepared. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight, man. Hit that thumbs up. If you have not done so, hit that thumbs up. We are 14 away from 800 likes, man. So hit that thumbs up. Thank you for all the super chats tonight. Follow me on Twitter at JDfromNY206. It's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell if you have not done so for all notifications. But really hit that subscribe button, man. You're not going to get this type of content anywhere else in the community, man. Check out the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. We got Monday Night Raw. We got SmackDown. We got AEW. Off the Script was live on Saturday with episode 364. 2.5 hours of great content there. TakeOver tonight. And we got Monday Night Raw back at it tomorrow. Awful. Got a gauntlet match for momentum going into the Elimination Chamber. Got to see how fucked up that one is. Monday Night Raw's got a gauntlet match for the Elimination Chamber on who enters last, with the WWE Champion wrestling in the gauntlet match. So is he going to lose? So is Drew McIntyre going to be pinned on national television on Monday Night Raw in a non-title situation? I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm about to get out of here. Again, we just hit 800, guys. I appreciate you, man. I love you guys so much. 800 likes in the chat. Thoughts and prayers go out to Justine. Thank you to the mods, Hoot Media, Hula Grim, and Raging Girl Gamer. I appreciate you three for helping me out. But you guys know what time it is, man. May be cold outside, but I'm getting in the Mustang. And the windows are down. I always drive with the music on full blast, bro. You know what to do. Give me those guitar emojis in the chat. I got my cold beverage. I'm getting out of here, man. I'll see you guys on Monday Night Raw. And thank you so much for everything tonight for TakeOver, bro. See you guys later. Hey, Jesse, until you apologize to Britt Baker, bro, I'm not shouting you out, clown. You're making fun of Britt Baker every single week. You owe her an apology, baby. Don't let me dump you. See you guys later.